Hi everybody, this is Christina from Brush and Bristle Studio. I hope you guys are having a great day so far. I'm going to go over how to use the 11-ounce mug multi mockup. This is a smart object file that you are going to be using in Photoshop. An alternative program will be Photopea, and I'm going to go over that in another part of this tutorial. So to use this, there's a couple little things we're going to go over first. You can use this manually, or you can use the action that I've included with this. So I'm going to show you how to use it manually really fast, and then I'm going to go over how to use it with the action. And I'll go over some other features that are included in this as well. So to get started, this is a one-click change mockup. So if you just click on one of these smart objects, the smart objects are highlighted with red on their layer. That way you know that that is a smart object layer that you want to be changing. But you really only have to change one of them to change all of them. So if you come over here, you'll see this red layer and this thumbnail right here. So we're going to double click on this thumbnail, and it's going to open up this smart object document. Now, if you go navigate to the file that you want to look for, and if you select all and then Control C to copy, you come over here and do Control V to paste, and then Control S to save. Now, if you load in your file and it doesn't fit this properly, you can always hit Control T to get these little anchor points on here that'll allow you to resize, and you can make it fit the document that you need. I'm always happy to resize stuff if it really doesn't fit your design and you need me to resize it. Just let me know. I've had to do that for a couple other people who really wanted it to be different size. It doesn't take that much to do. So if y'all need a resize, just let me know. But it's really easy for you yourself to just come in here and resize the document. So you can go Control S to save, and as you go over here, you'll see it's already updated on all three mugs. And if we shrink these layers, these layer groups, and hide the visibility on the first one and make the second one visible, you see it's already on the third on the second one. And if you hide the second one and make the third one visible, you'll see it's visible on the third one as well. Now, I'm going to take a step back, and I'm going to go back to this tab, and I'm going to delete that image and then save it. So we've got a fresh slate to work with. So I just wanted to show you manually how to add the smart object. But what you want to do is go to the action that I included. And this is what's really going to save you time with your mockup. So if you double click this, it's going to automatically install it into Photoshop for you. If you've never used actions before, it's really not like a hard thing to do. You will go to this little plus sign over here for actions, and you'll see it right at the bottom. Now, if you don't see an actions panel button over here anywhere, you can go up to window and you'll see actions right here, or you can hit Alt and F9 and it'll open it for you. So I'm going to scoot this over really fast so you can see it. I've got two action groups right here. You've got load design and save design. So I think it's really important to have these separated, so that way you have a moment in between the load and the save to see what the design is going to look like on these. And then I'm going to walk you through how to make some changes to it to really make the mockup your own and personalize it for each design that you're going to be doing. So if you click on load design, you're going to hit this play button right here. And as you see, it already opened up a smart object. If you get this little error message, it's not the end of the world. It's just being a finicky butt. Just hit OK, and it'll prompt you to open up the document that you want to add. You double click it, and it will automatically copy and paste it into the document, and it already has it set up with free transform. So again, you can just resize the document however you need to fit. And once you're satisfied with the sizing, you can hit the check mark or you can hit enter, and it will go ahead and save it and close it and apply it to your mockups. Now, here is where we're going to go over some of the customization things that you can do. I've gotten some feedback from customers since I've been offering these mockups to make the shadows and the highlights a little bit brighter, and others wanted things a little bit lighter. So I'm trying to give you guys more flexibility. So what you can do to make it more your own style is on the glossy overcoat, the highlights, and the shadows. And this is also in the Mockup 2 section as well, right here. You can mess with the opacity and the fill, and that will help either make it brighter or less bright, whatever you really are in the mood for that particular design. And some designs, these things will pop a little bit more. Like if you had a black design on here, obviously you'll see the shine on it a lot more than you would on a lighter white design. Something else that I've added on here is this extra highlight and shadow. If you make this visible, you see it really makes the shadows and stuff pop. If you want to edit these, you see they've got these little icons. If you just double click on the icon right here, it'll open up the panel for the brightness contrast or for the vibrance, and you just drag and drop wherever. I'd be a little careful with the vibrance and the saturation because it can mess with the coloring of the design, but you don't really have that issue with the brightness contrast as much. But just be mindful of it when you are messing with that, because you don't want to misrepresent your design. So once that is done, you can go to handles, and I've got a color changing feature on here. So if you just double click on this little color palette, it'll open up this hue saturation panel. You're going to want to make sure that this colorize thing is checked, because if it's not, you're not going to see the color. But once you have that, you can drag the colors wherever you want. You can make the saturation more intense or less intense. You can make it lighter or darker, whatever, just to get it the color that you need. So we're going to toggle that back off. And bottom shadows, I have this, all the shadows are merged right here, so you can't mess them individually, but you can move them around if you need to. Like if you want to bring them down a little bit, you can move them back up. You can also mess with the opacity and the fill on these to make it lighter or darker, whatever you need it to be. With backgrounds, you have 8 backgrounds out of the box just for Mockup 1 to mess with. I just like to give a good variation for you guys. Now with this white shimmer, I do have color changing set up on this. So if you double click that again, you just move things around. Again, mess with the saturation on it, mess with the lightness of it. Just make it your own. Once you've got the first one set up how you want it to, go to the second one and you'll do the same thing. So this extra highlight shadow layer group is above all of these, so it's going to apply to everything. So once you have it on for one, it's going to be on for all the others. And as I said before, you can come to these, the glossy overcoat, the highlights and shadows, and mess with the opacity and fill to mess with how light or dark those are. I also have the color changing set on these handles here. You can do the same thing with the bottom shadows, move them, change the opacity fill, and then backgrounds. You've got 4 different backgrounds here. And I also applied this color changing feature to all 4 of them. So if you want to change the color of the marble, the wood, the paper, whatever, go for it. You just want to make sure you do this before you move on to the next action. So, and then you've got your third one, which also has the 4 different backgrounds, and it's also got the color changing. So, and I would make sure you've got all your logos, your word marks, like whatever you need on top of these. Get them just right before you move on to this next part of the action. So now you're going to click save. And we're going to go here. And it's going to come up as mockup 1. I saved one earlier, so it's going to rewrite that one. Mockup 2. Mockup 3. So it really makes it super fast. So I'm going to run through it really quick without like explaining anything, just so you see how fast this is. So I'm going to go click on load design. Navigate to the one that I want. Hit the enter button. It's automatically there. I'm happy with how it looks. So now I'm going to go to save design. And I'm just going to save over these. So there we are. Super, super quick. I know this tutorial is rather long, but I wanted to go over all of the features that you've got available to you within this. If you'll have any questions or any problems with this or with the action, just let me know. But this is the tutorial for Photoshop. I'm going to go over Photopea in the next part of this tutorial. So stick around if you'd like to see how to use a free web-based software that's very similar to Photoshop. Alright, now to show you how to use Photopea, you're going to open up a web browser. You can do it on a PC or on any smart device. As long as you can use a web browser on it, you can use it. Go to photopea.com and you'll come here, and you don't need an account or anything. It's absolutely free. Go to open from computer, open the file. Now the only downside of Photopea is I haven't been able to get the actions to work in here. So you will have to do things manually in here. So we're going to double click and it opens up. And another thing that's a little bit different from Photoshop, we're going to go to File, Open, and Place. So navigate to where your design is. And you see it's automatically copied and pasted it into the document. And it already has the free transform feature on. So you can grab the anchor points and resize it however you need. Once you're ready, hit the check mark up here and go to File, Save Smart Object, or hit Control S. And then if you go back to the main document, you see it's right here. And it has updated to all of the mockups for you. So just like we did before, you can go in, you can toggle off the extra highlights and shadows. You can mess with the opacity and fill on the glossy overcoat, the highlights and shadows. You can go to the handles and toggle on the color. Still double click the palette, the color palette, and it will open. Again, you also still want to have this colorize box checked, and then you can just drag all of these how you need them to. It's really all the same little features as we had in Photoshop. So once you're content with that, you can save your mockups. Nothing else really different, but I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial. If you'll have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to me on Etsy or comment below, and I will be more than happy to help you with whatever you need. So I hope you guys have a great day.